Protecht brings vendor risk into one connected view, so assessments, evidence, findings and actions no longer sit across separate spreadsheets, emails and manual records. Let's look at Protecht's current vendor risk management workspace. This is where every vendor relationship lives, a single master list you can search, filter, and drill into at any time. When a new vendor is added, the workspace captures the essentials: legal name, services provided, and a short tiering assessment that automatically rates the vendor as low, medium, or high risk. Once that assessment is complete, the vendor is onboarded, and from there, Protecht keeps a running record of everything that happens next, so risk teams always have an audit trail to fall back on. And because the vendor record remains connected throughout the relationship, teams can manage the full life cycle, from intake and tiering through due diligence, monitoring, renewal, and offboarding. Now, Protecht and VISO TRUST take that connected workflow further, combining enterprise-grade vendor risk management with AI-powered assurance. Let's see how the VISO TRUST integration transforms the existing manual process, with instant AI-powered assessments built right into the vendor onboarding flow. As soon as a new vendor is added, the integration steps in. There are two ways this happens: an initial bulk sync for teams already using Protecht, and an ongoing sync that kicks in automatically every time a new vendor is created. The initial sync is designed to be fast. In just a few clicks, existing vendors are matched and created in VISO TRUST, eliminating duplicate data entry between the two systems. And going forward, every new vendor added to Protecht is automatically created in VISO TRUST too, keeping assessment information current without any extra manual work. Let's walk through exactly what this integration captures. When a vendor syncs, Protecht sends over the essentials: the vendor name, web domain, and service description, giving VISO TRUST everything it needs for an accurate, evidence-based assessment. Primary contact and business owner details come across too, fully populating the new vendor record. Once that sync completes, the instant assessment runs automatically. Moments later, the results flow straight back into Protecht: inherent and residual risk ratings, a snapshot of control coverage, and a clear risk acceptance signal that tells the team whether a deeper review in VISO TRUST is needed. This turns assessment evidence into a clear decision path. Risk owners can see risk severity, control coverage, and the recommended next step, then review, accept the risk, or request further action. From the vendor record, a direct link takes users straight into VISO TRUST, carrying the full assessment context with them, risk dimension scores, and a high-level view of exposure, ready for deeper analysis. Inside VISO TRUST, that same vendor record shows the risk ratings and the flag to review. From here, the risk owner can accept the risk outright, or dive into a more detailed assessment, and if more information is needed, request it directly from the vendor. This isn't about replacing the existing process, it's about accelerating it. Instead of waiting on a manual review, teams get an immediate, defensible view of vendor risk from the moment a new vendor is created. The result is faster due diligence with less manual effort, while keeping the ratings explainable, the evidence accessible, and every decision traceable. The integration doesn't stop at onboarding. It keeps working throughout the vendor relationship. Assessments in VISO TRUST aren't a one-time event. They can be triggered again at any point, in real time, whenever there's a meaningful change in a vendor's risk posture. When a new assessment runs, the updated results flow straight back into Protecht automatically. Here, a fresh public assessment has just completed, and moments later, that information is already reflected in the vendor record, keeping risk data current without anyone lifting a finger. That means vendor risk stays current beyond the initial assessment. Teams can identify material changes sooner, prioritize the relationships that need attention, and track follow-up through to closure. We're not just syncing data, but connecting it. By eliminating duplicate entry and manual copying between systems, risk teams get one connected view of vendor risk. Security teams get deeper continuous monitoring through VISO TRUST, and execs get the richer, more complete reporting they need for stronger governance. And because vendor risk does not sit in a silo, those insights can connect with enterprise risks, controls, incidents, cyber, resilience, compliance, and reporting across Protecht. The result is a faster path from vendor intake to informed action, with the connected visibility that teams need to manage third-party risk across the full lifecycle.